All right, so the last exercise we're going to give Alex for his home program to work on his mobility and the depth of his squat is kind of a deficit single leg squat position. We're going to work holds. We're not actually going to work strength out of that position. We're going to use that to create a deeper position with neutral spine. So what we're going to have to do is put his right foot up on the box here. He's going to drop back into like a lunge position. Again, so just having this deficit, this 6-inch drop, allows me to get his knee higher in relation to his hip and just being on the ground. Okay, so it's going to, again, challenge that mobility. From a back standpoint now, I'm going to have him sit up tall and really try to get an inward curve at his low back. Okay, and you should feel kind of some stretching in the hip and the groin a little bit already. Okay, so one, he can just sit there and then he can kind of reach, lean forward, kind of go in and out of this position while maintaining neutral spine. So that's the cue, or the key here. We'll show it from the other side here in a moment. So again, he's keeping that knee out, going over the foot. He's got a good foot position. So all those cues that we want to see in the squat, we're working kind of mobility on one side. He's also getting a hip flexor stretch on the opposite side a little bit too. So once he does 5 kind of diving forward rotations, or mobilizations I should say, he's going to take that right hand, kind of reach in front of his foot. Again, cinch up his spine, keep his chest big. Then he's going to push out, keeping his big toe on the ground, and really work the mobility in his groin, adductors, and really his psoas too a little bit. He keeps the spine in a good position. We do like a 15-second hold there. We'll have him do 2 reps per leg. Nice neutral spine, really working the mobility of his hip here. Again, this is going to translate to this bottom position of the squat nicely. Good. Okay, so let's maybe work the other leg. We'll come from this side, so maybe go over here, Alex, and look at me. We'll do 1 rep on the left and 1 rep on the right. Yeah, so now you can see how that 6-inch drop gets his knee up higher in relation to his hip. Okay, so he starts off by first getting the spine in good position. So he's got a nice neutral spine here. He's going to do kind of 5 just oscillations or mobilizations going forward. The whole time, keeping his chest up and that back tight. Stretch out his hip. Okay, once he's done about 5 or so, he's going to reach through, grab his foot. He's going to use some leverage from his arm. He's going to keep the spine tight. Now he's going to drive that knee out. Again, we're thinking of more hip mobility at the bottom of that squat with a neutral spine. That's definitely where Alex has his weak point at the bottom of the squat, is his ability to keep a neutral spine. By dropping that other leg down, it helps keep him in a more neutral position. That's okay because we can work mobility side to side. It doesn't have to be both sides at the same time necessarily when we're working on our stretching or our mobility. Again, you would do 2 15-second holds. But let's just go to the other side now from the same position just so we can see what it looks like from the inside. Again, he just gets, before we do that, puts his right foot up. So go to your starting position. He starts off here, kind of grounded. Really the biggest part of this stretch is to get that inward curve. Okay? That's going to tighten up that right hip. Okay? Now what you got to do is forward oscillations. That femur is coming right over the outside of his foot as he goes forward. So we don't want to be diving in this way, obviously. So he's doing a good job there. Then he can do is reach through, tight spine, using his elbow as leverage to push out. Should be feeling some stretch in the groin, the hip. And then again, he's thinking about, is my back in good position the whole time? About a 15-second hold. I do 2 reps per leg. That's what we'll have him do for his home program. And we'll get out of there. And that'll be the end of his initial mobility exercises to address what we saw today with his assessment.